If you're a pet owner, you may want to hear this, as your furry friend may help you get thousands and thousands of dollars based on a lawsuit that is being filed with an attorney against the IRS. I'm going to explain all the details for you here in this video, and I also do have this article right here, which I will pop up on the screen in just a second so you can see and read for yourself exactly what is going on, the details of this lawsuit against the IRS, and how furry animals and your friends may be worth thousands and thousands of dollars. I'll explain all of it. It seems kind of weird. This is not the first time we've heard of this, but we are hearing this a whole lot more recently, and a lot of people are jumping on board with this. We'll have to see what the IRS says when they respond to this actual lawsuit, but I'm going to pop this up in just a second here. Now, first off, let me ask you a quick question. Drop your comment down below. And again, it doesn't matter the type of animal that you have, whether it's a dog or a cat. Obviously, those probably being the most common. There's many others out there. But do you kind of consider your animal to be like a member of your family, like a child of yours, essentially? A lot of people feel that way, right? And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Drop your comment down below. Do you feel like your pet, your animal, your dog, your cat, whatever you have, is part of your family and like one of your kids? If so, I'd love to read your comments down below. Anyway, let's pop this article up right here, right now. Feel free to read through the details of this. Let me explain exactly what's going on. So, this attorney is filing a lawsuit against the IRS on the behalf of her 8-year-old golden retriever, obviously a dog, right? But anyway, she's basically saying that this dog is basically her child, and basically saying, I want to claim this dog, this animal, as my dependent. Okay, so this is something that we've heard again many times over the years, where people want to start claiming their animals, their pets, as dependents, because obviously the animal does not have any income. They're reliant on the owner to, like, fend for that animal, feed that animal, all the things like that. That's basically the definition of a dependent. Obviously there's more to the definition than that, but that's kind of one of the definitions, right? But you might be thinking, but how? How would you possibly claim this? Well, think of a dependent. A dependent is basically just a minor that lives in the household. Essentially, obviously, there are adult dependents as well. But in general, when you think of a dependent, you think of like a minor child or something like that. Well, when it comes down to a minor child, provided that individual is living in the household for the majority of the year and it's somebody that you would claim on your tax return as your dependent, things like this, what are a lot of times something you're also able to claim? A lot of times you can also claim the CTC, the child tax credit, or the ACTC, the additional child tax credit, which is the refundable portion of the child tax credit, okay? What's interesting about this is that if the IRS were to allow this rule of individuals like you and me and anybody else out there that has animals, if the IRS allowed for people to claim their animals, as in their dog, their cat, their snake, their hedgehog, whatever people have, I don't know, as dependents, essentially what could happen is that even if you have a zero income, which, full disclaimer before I go any further here, this is not tax advice, this is not accounting advice, this is not legal professional advice in any way, shape, or form. I don't know your situation, and as of right now, animals are not allowed to be claimed as dependents, but over the last few years here, we've been seeing this coming up time and time again, more and more and more, where this is continuously coming up saying, hey, we should be able to claim our animals as dependents. Okay, anyway, back to what I was saying here, and again, I just want to give that quick disclaimer. I'm not your accountant, I'm not your CPA. Talk to your own individual, and again, as of right now, animals are not able to be claimed as dependents, but who knows, maybe they'll change this ruling at some point, especially for service animals, right? That's another big thing that's coming across right now, is a lot of people getting service animals, right? ESA animals, just again, service animals in general. But anyway, so point being is that if somebody were able to claim their animal, whatever it happens to be, as a dependent, even if that person has a $0 income, as in on paper, their income is zeroed out because of the standard deduction and what other deductions they have, if they have a dependent, they could still get a portion of the ACTC, the additional child tax credit, refunded back. For right now, as I film this video, the very end of 2025, about in the middle of December as I film this video, when we roll into 2026, the child tax credit payment available in 2026 on the behalf of 2025 has gone from $2,000 to $2,200, and the ACTC, as in the advanced child tax credit, the refundable portion of that has gone up by $100 from $1,600 to $1,700. What I mean by that is there's a lot of people out there, I know a lot of you in this community that watch these videos, that have zero income on paper because maybe you're living on SSI or SSDI or retirement benefits, Social Security, something like that, and your income is zeroed out because of the standard deduction. In this case, if you had an animal and if you were able to claim that as a dependent, you could probably still get the ACTC, the Advanced Child Tax Credit deduction, which is literally a refundable portion, which would be worth up to $1,700, okay? I know that sounds super weird to be like, wait, I'm going to claim my dog as a dependent, and I'm going to claim the Advanced Child Tax Credit payment and get a check because of my dog? That's what they're arguing here, okay? That's literally what they're arguing. So anyway, let's see what happens here. And again, who knows? Again, who really knows? Remember, I know this sounds kind of nuts, like that there's no way this is ever going to happen. I wouldn't say it's never going to happen, especially when it comes down to service animals. Are they going to allow every single animal to be claimed as a dependent? Highly doubt it. I highly, highly, highly doubt that. But could they possibly claim or change the rule so that service animals are allowed to be claimed as dependents? I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they did that. Are they going to do it this week? No. Are they going to do it in the next month? Honestly, probably not. But could they do it in the next year or two or three? Maybe. I don't know, right? I'm just saying. This is exactly the lawsuit that is being filed, again, from this attorney here that you saw in this article. That's literally the lawsuit that's being filed here. She's basically saying, my 8-year-old golden retriever, basically my kid, and I pay all the expenses. The dog does not have an income of its own, which I'm not sure of any animals that have an income of their own. If they do, they're very entrepreneurial, right? I mean, that's awesome if they do. But my point being is that that's literally what she's arguing. And I'm very curious to read the comments down below. I'm guessing at this point, a lot of people left comments down below that have said something like, yeah, my cat Fluffy is certainly my child. My dog Snuggles is certainly my child, or whatever, right? Again, whatever the names are. I'm just making up names right now, but you get my point behind this, right? So anyway, let's see what happens here. But I know this sounds nuts, but at the end of the day, we've seen way more nuts things happen, right? And we just got that massive tax bill that was signed into law over the summer, which, again, a lot of people I've seen out there complaining about it, saying, oh, it's doing nothing for me. Realistically, it's actually going to do a lot of things for a lot of people, okay? I'm not going to sit here and shill on that, whatever. It's just, I'm not here to take sides politically whatsoever. I'm here just to tell you the details. But even though that tax cut bill feels like it did nothing for you, realistically, it hasn't done a whole lot for anybody, like anybody at all, in 2025. But when we get into 2026 and we all go to file our tax returns, whoever does out there, that's when the deductions, that's when the refunds, and that's when the money's really going to start flowing because of that multi-trillion-dollar tax cut bill from over the summer. That's when the money's really going to show up, is when everybody goes to file their tax return in early 2026 on the behalf of 2025. That is when people are going to see the savings and the checks coming back to them from that tax cut bill that was signed into law over the summer. Does that make sense? Okay? Anyway, as always, drop your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. Let me know what else I can do for you. And again, I look forward to reading your comments down below as well. This is an interesting one, but I thought, you know what? This could be very good for a lot of you in this community that have animals. Again, a dog, a cat, a snake, a turtle, I don't know, hamsters, whatever people have, I don't know. There's all kinds of random things out there. But I would imagine there's going to be some kind of rules around this if they do it in the first place. But if they do, this could potentially be worth a lot of money for a lot of people because of the refundable portion of the child tax credit payment. That's where the money would come from, because these animals would be basically classified as dependents allowed to claim the child tax credit. Does that make sense? And again, I want to throw it out there again really fast. I know I said it a couple times. No, as of right now, animals are not allowed to be claimed as dependents yet. Maybe they will. Let's see what happens with this. Anyway, I'd love to hear from you down below. Otherwise, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Big share button right down below. Otherwise, I'd love to read your comments. Enjoy your day. Hope this helps you, and I'll certainly keep you posted with any further information. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video and the next live stream. All right, have a good one. Please subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you again a little bit later. All right.